Pisces, welcome to Moonbeam's Messages. This is your collective reading. Now, this one is a finance reading. As it is collective, not everything will resonate, so please only take what resonates and leave what doesn't. If you don't find any messages in it for yourself, then please check through the placements where you're likely to find a message in there. Now, I am not a financial advisor, so I'm not here to tell you what to go and invest into. If you want to invest in things, please go and seek proper financial advice. I am simply relaying a message from Spirit that might offer some advice or some hints or, just trying to help with difficult situations. So, Spirit, let's get into this. What cards can you give us, or can you give us some cards for Pisces for the current financial situation and what to do with them? Can we get 2 more cards, please, Spirit? It's a few more than 2. Wow, Spirit wants to give me 6 or 7 cards at a time. Just 2, please, Spirit. Thank you. Got there. Oh, bang on 2. Well done. Okie dokie. So, what have we got? So, currently then, for you, I've got a 10 of stones in the reverse and I've got a star card. So, it looks to me like you might be trying to get some success in finances. You are very much trying to emulate what other people are doing, which is pretty good, to be fair. You're looking at people that are successful, or at least people you feel are successful, or the most successful ones you know, finding out how they've managed to get where they are. And, it's like you're influencing how you are going to go about getting money, how you're dealing with your finances through what they're doing, trying to emulate their success. The 10 of swords in the reverse, sorry, 10 of stones in the reverse, it's the same as swords in this particular deck. It is suggesting to me that you might be a little bit obsessed over money, thinking that it's going to make you happy when you've got a lot of it. And that could be very much why you are trying to emulate other people's success. And it's like you feel like, or it feels as though you feel like you can't be happy fully, or you're not going to be happy until you've got financial success, until you've got a lot of money, a lot of stability. Let's get some clarity on those. Get clarity on the star card and the 10 of stones, please, Spirit. You might even have the attitude of you spend more, you earn more. It does seem like you might be spending a little bit more than you earn at the moment, hoping that it will turn into investments. Kind of, I don't know, maybe you are self-employed and you're buying a lot of things to invest into your business, hoping that they're going to pay off in the long run. It is suggesting as well that you're not particularly being very productive at the moment. If you are being productive, you are overproducing and you're not necessarily getting the fruits of your labor. So if you're working for a company, for instance, you could be doing a lot of extra work. You could be taking a lot of extra stuff on, but they're not actually paying you for the extra work. Maybe you're doing, how do you put it? So people might have a 9 to 5 job. You might have a 9 to 5 job, but you're still, you might be working through your breaks. You might be working through your lunch. You might be staying at work till 6 or 7 o'clock, but you're not getting paid for all that extra time. So it's very much suggesting that, that's you're trying your hardest to work hard. You're trying to do what other people are doing because you've seen them do that and they've been successful. So you're trying to copy it. I do have a Three of Pentacles as well. And that is very much suggesting that you feel like money will give you some options, and you might be feeling like without it, you're a bit stressed. Again, it's kind of emulating that feeling of you feel like you won't be happy unless you've got a lot of money. So just reiterating that Ten of Swords there, that you feel like you need a good chunk in order to be happy here. But yeah, it does feel like you might be overspending because you've been copying other people, potentially, like I say, overworking as well, not necessarily getting the returns that you were hoping for. Now, in your challenge, we have Page of Stones. Page of Stones is suggesting that you need to start looking for ideas on how to improve your finances. So the challenge is either that you're not looking at them or you look too much. You might be overwhelmed by how many different options there are out there that you can improve finances on. It could be that you are choosing to improve your finances using lots of different options, and that's very much what it suggests here with that Judgment in the reverse, about spending more than you earn potentially. You could be trying to overspend, divvy it out, put in a lot of investment into a lot of different areas, and it's just not really paying off for you. But let's get some clarity on that. Spirit, what's this Page of Swords, please? So the first one out there, we've got Seven of Swords. So this is suggesting that you need to make sure that you're on the straight and narrow where you're dealing with finances, and that you're not doing anything in an underhanded way. So for instance, if you're self-employed, making sure that you're declaring all of your incomes and expenditures properly, not doing anything to well, it's not doing anything underhanded. It's making sure that you're doing everything, you're on the straight and narrow as you're doing it. So that, I'm not saying that that could be a challenge, but it is suggesting that you need to make sure that you are maintaining doing that, while you are in it could be that, how do I put it, when you're looking for ideas on how to improve your finances, it could very well be you might know some people that try and convince you to do certain things in a certain way. You get those offshore bank accounts where you haven't got to pay tax or national insurance or whatever else it is. They could be suggesting you do that. Um, there are other things people could suggest that you do to improve your income that could be illegal. Obviously that is not something that you want to do, but very much making sure that you're on the straight and narrow, not doing anything that you're not going to be proud of when you're older, not doing anything that your children would be ashamed of, not doing anything that's going to get you into trouble. The King of Swords is suggesting that you need to make sure that you are taking a tactical approach and that you are keeping high standards. You don't want to lower your standards where it comes to making money, so don't go for anything that could be shady, things that could get you into trouble. Make sure you're keeping those boundaries with yourself. I do have a High Priestess here, which is suggesting that you need to make sure that you are spending wisely too. So it does feel very much like you need to ensure, or your challenge itself is very much that you might not be looking very much on how to improve finances. You could have people trying to persuade you to do things that you shouldn't be. I say shouldn't be, that could get you into trouble if you get found out. You could get, you could be not trying to you might not be looking after your money. You might be just spending it as it comes in, not really tracking anything, not really managing your finances. And this is going to cause you a big challenge. So what you could do So the advice that we've got for you, we've got an Ace of Gems. So that is the Ace of Wands in this particular deck. It is suggesting to me that you need to make sure that you're working hard. So not taking an easy option that could be not very well. I say not fruitful. It could, I mean, not working hard could be fruitful, but it could be immoral or you could get in trouble. Make sure that you are working hard in order to earn your income. Put in your energy and your time, invest it wisely, not investing it into things that are shady or quick and easy that you know could very well land you in a lot of hot water later on. If it's something where you're self-employed, obviously putting in a lot of time and effort and energy into that. Same with working at work. Make sure you're working hard, but work smart, don't work. What is it? Smarter, not. Can't even remember what the phrase is. You'll probably know it yourself. Say smarter, not harder. But obviously, saying to work hard, but it's more of making sure that you're putting that time and effort in so that you're getting recognised, not just doing the most basic stuff you can just to get past for the day. Because there's a lot of people out there nowadays, let's face it, who will do the least they can to get by and they get away with it half the time. This is saying if you want to have more money, if you want your money to improve, you need to make sure that you're working hard. You need to show that. You need to make that money work hard for you too. So if you do have some savings, you need to make sure that you are investing it wisely. Obviously, if you want to invest that, go and see a financial advisor for some options and some help and whatnot on what you can invest and where you can invest it. But yeah, make sure that your money's working hard for you. So if you are, how I was saying over here that if you're self-employed, you could be buying things to build, but you're not getting the returns on them. Making sure that where you are investing that money into your business, that it's actually going to work for you. So doing your research behind it, not just hoping for the best, thinking, yeah, that would be a great idea, but then nothing ever materializes from it. Making sure that you are doing things the best way you possibly can to give you the best standing and the best kind of outcomes. One of the best things that I could suggest is I went to a forum once about businesses and what you can do to promote your business. How do you make sure that your product is viable? And it was simple stuff that I wouldn't have even ever thought of, to be honest. You might see a need in a market for something, and you think, yeah, that's a great idea, and then you charge after it and you do it. But do people want it? So one of the easiest things you could do is put out like a survey to people that you feel could be your clientele. Do they want that? You know, and it's finding out what people actually want and then going, working towards it. And that's just one way that you could, if you're self-employed, make sure that your money's working for you. Invest into the things that people want at the end of the day. Obviously, there's lots of other things you could do. That is just an example. You know, feel free to do obviously whatever you want. Now, we do have a King of Wands here in the reverse with that Ace of Gems. Now, he is very much suggesting that you potentially look at other people's financial wisdom. So it is suggesting that you might seek help from other people, learn from other people about finances potentially. Invest some time and effort into actually learning about different methods. Here, like I was saying, it's very much suggesting that you're not really looking into how to improve your finances. This is suggesting that you might need to go and, speak with people, learn from them, somebody that's been successful in getting whatever it is that you're now looking at. I do have a Page of Pentacles here as well. And it is suggesting that you need to make sure that you are assessing what you do have. Okay. Making sure that you're not just distributing it or spending it all over the place, assessing what you've got, making sure it's going to where it needs to go, if it needs to go anywhere, that is. You don't always have to put it anywhere. you know. And I do have the devil in the reverse as well, where it is suggesting that there might be a couple of things that you could do, that you can look into to improve your finances. And when I say a few things, it could be things like work. Obviously, if you get a new job, your income goes up. But then at the same time, you could look at investing into other things, stocks, shares, bonds, properties, who knows? The list is endless with that sort of thing. But then also, looking at where you're spending out, you could find money that's not being used properly. You might have things, subscriptions, gym memberships that are no longer in use. There's quite a few different things, and it's suggesting that you put your energy into making sure that you're looking at all of your different aspects, not just one particular thing. So, not just working really hard, not just putting in lots of overtime, making sure that you're actually taking the time to look at the rest of your finances at the same time. You know, do it as an overall scope. Don't just look at it at one particular area. It's like all of the different areas could be looked at once. Now, if you do take that advice, your outcome, we do have a six of stones in the reverse. So it does suggest to me that with this six of stones in the reverse, that you will have learnt from things that you've got, or money that you've got. You'll be learning a lot from that. You'll be learning, or you will have learnt how to get where you need to go. Yeah, it's very much talking about learning what you've got, and also you won't necessarily need to explore other options anymore. um, for increasing your finances, because you'll have done a lot of that and you'll have learned a lot about it. You'll have learned a lot about different investments and how to make money work for you. Um, let's get some clarity though on that six of stones. It may be that you've already started to invest into something, whether that's time, energy, or money itself. Okay, so five of cups in the reverse then. So basically saying that you're on your way to achieving your goal. There could be, you might feel a little bit stuck here and there, but you are on your way to achieving your goal. Make sure that you are planning your steps forward. Um, if it's something where you're unsure and you don't necessarily know what way to go, it is suggesting that your intuition might not be the best for this particular um area. It might be better to seek some help from elsewhere. It could very well be that you're still learning as well. And I do have a Hierophant as well in the reverse, suggesting that you need to make sure that you do continue to manage your money. There won't be as much of a need to manage your money as much, but making sure that you do put as much effort and intention into what you've already got. Make sure that it's still working for you, making sure that you are managing that money as best as you can. But yeah, it does look as though you won't have to do too much extra as your outcome. It looks as though things are very much going to be you're going to have enough to not have to worry too much. So you can be a little bit frivolous here in the outcome from what I can see. It is, still by all means keep an eye on it, so you don't overspend or go a bit too wobbly. But yeah, it looks quite like a nice outcome actually. Right, let's get you an angel of abundance. So we've got pay yourself first. That's always a good one, because if you're not paying yourself, you're going to burn yourself out. So make yourself your most important financial obligation by setting aside a portion of your income every time you're paid. This loving form of self-care ensures that you'll have savings to invest in your present and your future. So very much over here, like I was saying, you're pretty much investing into other things, other projects. It's saying, make sure that you are investing into yourself as well. Okay. Well, I hope you enjoyed your reading today, Pisces. If you did, don't forget to hit that thumbs up. It will help pass the message on to anyone else that needs to hear it. If you want to hear more from me and you haven't subscribed already, if you press that subscription button and press the notification bell, it will let you know when I do post new content. For all of you that have subscribed already, thank you very much. It's greatly appreciated. It helps the channel grow and it also helps pass those messages on. So thank you very much for all of your support. Good luck and thank you for joining me.